Today we're talking about Canada's best cashback credit cards. If you want to earn more money on every dollar you spend, you need to understand which cards actually deliver the highest return. So in this video, I'm going to reveal my tier list of Canada's top cashback cards, grouped in different tiers based on return on spending from my core 4 metrics. I'll also explain all the important features of each card so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into and whether it's the right fit for you. So before I show you the cashback tiers, there are 4 metrics I look at to compare different credit cards side by side. Number 1 is the welcome bonus multiple, which measures how strong the card's welcome bonus is against its annual fee. Number 2 is return on spending, which measures how strong the card's earn rates are. Number 3 is time to break even, which measures how long it takes the average person to break even with the card. And then number 4 is the long-term value multiple, which is a measure of how much you get back from your spending on the card year after year without including any sort of annual credits or other benefits. Now, in this video, I'm ranking these cards by return on spending because this is the metric that cuts straight to the bottom line of how efficiently your card turns everyday purchases into tangible cashback. And I measure every card against a return on spending benchmark of 3%, which is what I consider strong performance, so you can see who reaches the podium and who merely shows up. Anything below 2% fails my cutoff because it delivers less incremental value than many no-fee cards. So again, return on spending measures how strong the card's earn rates are. And to put these earn rates in context, I compared them with some sample spending. And so this is the spending profile that I use for every credit card to see how it stacks up. It may not match your spending exactly, but it is based loosely on average spending data from Stats Canada with the numbers rounded a bit to make them easier to work with. And to be clear, this only includes credit card spending, so the one big expense that won't be included here will be your rent or mortgage. So to get the return on spending, I multiply the earn rates by these monthly spending numbers. So the first tier here includes cards with a return on spending of 2.8% or higher. So these are the elite cashback cards in Canada. They deliver the highest return on spending and come closest to that ideal 3% benchmark. So if you want maximum cashback with minimal compromise, there's actually only one card that represents the absolute best value you can get from your everyday spending. And the card I'm talking about is the American Express SimplyCash Preferred card. And the SimplyCash Preferred card stands out as one of the very few cards in Canada that offers at least 2% cashback on every spending category. Plus, you get 4% back on gas and groceries. So while other cards might give you higher rates in specific categories, this card's strength lies in its simplicity and consistency. So thinking about the 3 standout features of this card, I would say first is the unlimited 2% cashback rate on all purchases. Second, the comprehensive travel insurance package that rivals cards costing twice as much. And third, the mobile device insurance that covers up to $1,000 per claim for theft, loss, or damage. Now, the second tier here covers cards that land around 2.3%. These cards offer solid value with a healthy buffer above the minimum threshold of 2%. And overall, these are strong cards for strategic spenders who don't mind optimizing how they use their card. So first in this tier is the BMO Cashback World Elite Mastercard with a return on spending of 2.3%. This card offers a tiered structure that's both its strength and its weakness. So you get 5% back on groceries, 4% back on transit, 3% back on gas, 2% back on recurring bills, and 1% back on everything else. But each earning category has monthly spending caps that limit the total value. For example, you only earn the 5% rate on the first $500 of groceries per month. So if you're a heavy spender in that category, then you'll quickly hit that cap, and then the rate drops down to just 1%. So this is really limiting, especially since most people can hit $500 a month in groceries pretty easily. Likewise, the 3% gas multiplier only covers your first $300 in gas each month before dropping to that flat 1%. Now, the 3 key features of this card are: first, it has one of the highest grocery cashback rates in Canada at 5%. Second, complimentary roadside assistance through the Dominion Automobile Association. And then third, extensive travel insurance, including the 8-day out-of-province emergency medical benefits of up to $5 million in coverage. So next is the Neo Financial World Elite Mastercard. And Neo's approach is a bit unique here because your cashback rates can actually increase based on your Neo everyday account balance. But the base rates themselves are also solid: 5% on groceries, 4% on recurring bill payments, 3% on gas, and 1% on everything else. But keep in mind that all of these categories have a monthly cap as well, so once you hit $1,000 in gas, $1,000 in groceries, or $500 on recurring payments, then the cashback rates drop to 1%. But what makes this card special is, first, the instant cashback that appears in your account immediately after each purchase. Second, the ability to boost your rates by maintaining a higher balance in your Neo Everyday account. And then third, access to their partner network where you can earn additional cash back at over 10,000 merchants. But the downside is the complexity. To maximize the card's value, you need to understand how the account balance works and actively use the partner network. Plus, at an annual fee of $125, it is more expensive than some competing options. And then next in this tier is the CIBC Dividend Visa Infinite, which takes a straightforward approach with 4% cashback on groceries and gas, and 2% back on dining, transportation, and recurring bills, and then 1% back on everything else. Now, again, those 4% and 2% rates only last until you hit either a combined $20,000 in those bonus categories or $80,000 in total annual card spend. And then once you reach one of those thresholds, your purchases drop down to the 1% flat rate. But all in all, the spending caps are pretty reasonable since you need to spend around $1,700 a month in those bonus categories in order to hit the cap. Now, the three main benefits of this card are: first, competitive rates across multiple categories without complicated tier structures. Second, travel insurance, including trip cancellation and medical coverage. And third, access to Visa Infinite benefits like concierge service and other exclusive offers. But the card's weakness is that it doesn't excel in any one area. While the earn rates are pretty good, they're not the highest available, and the additional benefits, while they are useful, aren't really that groundbreaking. Now, tier 3 includes cards that fall between 2% and 2.29%. So these cards barely clear my 2% minimum threshold, and while they're not bad options, they do represent the baseline for acceptable cashback value. So first in this tier is the Meridian Visa Infinite Cashback card. The card offers 4% on gas and groceries, 2% on pharmacy and utility bills, and 1% on everything else. And three notable features are: first, competitive rates for members of Meridian Credit Union. Second, reasonable spending caps at $25,000 spent across gas and groceries that many users just won't exceed. And then third, the standard Visa Infinite benefits and insurance coverage. However, this card is only available to Meridian Credit Union members, which does limit its accessibility. And while the rates are decent, they don't quite reach the levels of top-tier competitors. Next is the Wealthsimple Visa Infinite card, also known as the Wealthsimple Cashback credit card, which offers 2% cashback on everything. And so the standout features are: first, 0 foreign exchange fees; second, mobile device insurance up to $1,000; and third, simplicity without complex category structures, so you're earning 2% cashback on everything without any spending caps or categories to track. But the limitation here is the relatively low earn rates compared to other cards that we've already seen. At exactly 2%, it barely makes this list. And so when you look at the broader landscape, here's what the numbers say. Cards that land close to a 3% return on spending, like the Amex SimplyCash Preferred card, offer straightforward value because you earn solid cashback on almost everything without worrying about categories. Cards around the 2.3% range like the BMO Cashback World Elite, Neo Financial World Elite, and CIBC Dividend Visa Infinite can still work well, but you'll need to keep an eye on spending caps and bonuses to make the most of that return. And then the options sitting right around 2% are the Meridian Visa Infinite and Wealthsimple Cashback credit card, and they meet the minimum cutoff, but they don't really offer anything more than that. But overall, that's how the top cashback credit cards in Canada stack up. I hope you appreciate this numbers-based approach that I've taken because I've compiled a ton of data to make all these comparisons. So if you found it helpful, I'd appreciate if you liked the video and leave a comment to let me know. And once you've done that, there's actually something else that you need to know about Canadian credit cards that will take your game to an entirely new level. Because if you really want to maximize your credit card rewards, you need to understand the strategy that the top 1% of Canadians are using to get way more value from their cards than anyone else. So to learn exactly how they're earning 5 to 10 times more in rewards than the average person, watch this video next.